And it's not like my experience was a negative one. Actually, I loved all the nurses at the hospital. I thought they were great. It's just the palliative care is quite complicated, and it's just it's the little things sometimes that medical staff say that stick with you, especially when you have to make decisions around palliative sedation, which can be quite traumatic. I think at the time when the pain relief wasn't working, and the only option was palliative sedation, it wasn't the term palliative sedation wasn't even used. It was just sort of, oh, the only other option is this drug, and it's a bit like being under anesthetic, so you don't feel anything, but you don't wake up, but she won't wake up. So that was and I had 2 hours to make that decision, because obviously Liz was in so much pain as well. And I think something like that, it would have been really useful if it was communicated way before we got to that point, not on the day it had to be done. So you're more you're more prepared, and maybe even the patient involved would have had a say in it as well. And you don't have to make that decision for them. I think it's just overall, it's about talking about death more at the end of the day, and being more prepared as individuals, because we're all going to die, or we definitely see someone we love die. So the more we can talk about it earlier and almost have some sort of idea of what's going to happen, especially when disease is involved, would be really helpful in terms of grieving and who is left behind. Because when someone dies in those circumstances, my experience was that it was the traumatic memories that were going through my head all of the time. When people see you at the funeral or something, they go, oh, I hope in time you'll think of the nice memories and all of this stuff. I couldn't think of the nice memories. It was the things that bothered me the most that I was thinking of, and those things were things that involved the hospital and cancer. Yeah, it's weird. It's like a double-edged sword, because then you don't want to, even though you think about those, have those memories, at the same time I didn't want to let go of them as well. And that was another part of why I wanted to do the project, because it was a way of, I started writing about those experiences, because I just didn't want to keep them in my mind all the time. I wanted something concrete where I could go back and go, oh yeah, that's a record of those things, and I just put them there in the project instead of carrying them with me all the time, and that was really helpful.